Welcome to the Bling Bling Break Room. Hi, I'm Sol, and I'm on break for 15 minutes. Thanks for joining me in the Bling Bling Break Room. This is our first Break Room episode, and I thought it'd be appropriate to kind of explain to you how the Bling Bling Break Room functions. Essentially, we have 15 minutes on our quote-unquote break to talk about whatever we want, whether that's gossip, trending news, review of strange stories, literally anything that we want. A 15-minute timer will be set in the beginning of the episode, and once the timer ends, we're done. The conversation ends because the break has ended. So it's time for us to go. We created this series to kind of make fun, freeing, unstructured content with no rules. We have one rule, which is the 15-minute timer rule. And I say unstructured, but this episode is kind of structured. So, I don't know. This is something that we can do to kind of just do whatever we want. And this time I decided to kind of structure it. So, this is what you're getting. Nonetheless, we hope that you will enjoy this series and use it as a pick-me-up during your break or not. Just kind of enjoy us on the short run. Realistically, since we'll be editing out weird old pauses or weird stumbled words, the episode should be shorter than 15 minutes. Just kind of expect that to be happening. Normally in the break room, it'll be SANNA and I, but today you're going to get me. Sometimes you'll get SANNA, sometimes you'll get me. Today, you're just getting me. By the way, the timer has already been set, so let's just dive right in. Happy St. Paddy's Day, you guys. It's March 17th. I know that today's a Sunday, and technically you're not working, and technically you don't have a break, but I don't know. Listen to this tomorrow at work, or, take the information you got from here and use it to impress your coworkers. Since it's St. Paddy's Day, I thought it'd be the perfect day to kind of research what the holiday is all about. I didn't know much about St. Paddy's Day other than the fact that it is a day where you wear green, you drink, you party. It's all about Irish people. That's all I knew. It was Irish themed holiday. And since it is St. Paddy's Day, I assumed there was religious applications. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of look into it and share what I've kind of learned from my research. The things that I'm going to cover are: who is St. Patrick? Records of celebration, St. Paddy's traditions and their origins. And lastly, I will answer the question: is St. Paddy's Day really a day for partying and boozing, or is there more? Who knows? I will say this is my personal research. I don't know how accurate it is, but I will link my research in the description if you guys want to kind of read the fun articles that I read. If you want to give your coworkers some sources to look more smart, go ahead and do that. Nonetheless, you'll get stuff to possibly annoy or, impress your coworkers. Who knows? So, let's dive right in. Who was St. Patrick? Well, we don't know much about him, really. He was born and died during the 5th century, is essentially what we know for sure. He was born Maewyn Succat in Roman Britain, and it is believed that he was brought to Ireland as a slave in his teens. Later on, he escaped to a monastery in Gaul, France, and converted to Christianity. Then once he converted, he changed his name to Patricius, which is Patrick. It means father figure in Roman. And later on, he returned to Ireland and became a missionary in 432. It is believed that he got his notoriety as, quote, confronted the Druids at Tara and abolished their pagan rites, making Christianity more widespread. So, Christianity was pretty widespread at the time, but then he made it more widespread. He later on became a bishop, and after his death, he was named a patron saint. So, he was a bishop, he was named a saint. Essentially, that's all you need to know about him. There were lots of legends that kind of surrounded him. One of the bigger ones was that he used the shamrock to explain the Trinity. So that's one of the reasons why the shamrock is associated with the day. The second is that he chased all the snakes out of Ireland. But that one is completely a myth because there's no evidence that snakes were indigenous to the area. But that myth kind of happened. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. So you'd expect, because how cool this guy is, that celebrations would kind of happen not far after his death, but you'd be surprised. One of the first records of him being celebrated was actually by a Spanish colony in Florida, in St. Augustine, Florida, in 1601, March 17th. And it was organized by the Spanish colony's Irish vicar, Ricardo Artur. So it was the Spanish that kind of first really celebrated him, which I think was interesting. I'm sure they celebrated him somewhat, but the first parade was there. And the church didn't recognize an official day for honoring St. Patrick until like 1631, which is pretty crazy. That's when they officially established a feast day for him. So that was the kind of official celebration that we can view. As far as modern day celebrations, they really didn't send to high gear until like the 18th century, like the 1762 First New York Parade. As far as tradition origins, we talked about the shamrock briefly. That's one reason why the shamrock was associated with it. However, the church felt like in 1720 that the feasts were getting too crazy and people were losing the actual meaning of the day, so they decided to make the shamrock the official botanical item for the day as a symbol of him, which is customary for All Saints, and that's why it's really associated with it. Now, why was the feast getting out of control? It has to do with Lent, but I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. As far as the color green, you'd think the color green would be because of the shamrocks, but it's not. It actually has to do with the Irish Rebellion in 1798. The idea was the British wore red, so the Irish will wear green, and yada, yada, yada. Before, it was associated with blue, which was kind of in the ancient flags. So, you know, if you wear blue and someone pinches you, then you can say, hey, I'm wearing the right color. As far as the pinching, it kind of has to do with leprechauns. But then they do say that leprechauns traditionally wore red, so this whole green thing is more of an American thing. As far as the green thing, though, it really is an American thing. Like dyeing the Chicago River green, that's an American tradition that was started. So it's really popularized by America. Lots of these you'll see that are popularized by America. So let's circle back to the Lent thing. St. Patrick's Day was actually in the middle of Lent, and on St. Patrick's Day, the Lent restrictions are lifted. So that's why the kind of holiday feasting and drinking kind of came in. As far as the drinking, though, the reason why drinking is so heavily associated with it actually has to do with commercialization. So in 1901 in Ireland, they enacted a law where pubs and all stores had to close down for St. Patrick's Day. I think it was for all religious holidays, but don't quote me on that. And they lifted the restrictions in 1980. So then Budweiser came in and was like, oh, the pubs are going to open, so let's market off of this. And that's kind of how the crazy drinking thing kind of happened. So drinking is mostly due with commercialization. I'm sure they did it before, but it really is because of commercialization that kind of happened. As far as the foods that you'll eat, like cabbage and corned beef, soda bread, that's actually an American thing. Irish bacon was traditionally associated with the holiday in Ireland, but it was corned beef that came into popularization because it was cheaper to afford. Since it was mostly Irish immigrants that were kind of celebrating it, that was why these foods were kind of popularized. Speaking of immigrants and Americans, I talked about how America kind of popularized all of this. It really is because of Irish immigrants. It's believed that Irish soldiers who fought in the Revolutionary War hosted these parades and really made these celebrations big as a way for them to connect to their roots after they moved to America. So I think that's pretty great that two cultures can kind of merge and really make the celebrations their own to kind of connect to their roots, but also, exist in America and really do something big like Americans do. As far as the Kiss Me I'm Irish phrase, it comes from Blarney Stone. Legend is, if you kiss Blarney Stone, you'll be gifted with the gift of persuasive speech. But since Blarney Stone is so far away, the closest thing is an Irish person. So if you kiss an Irish person, apparently that you'll get gifted with the speech of charming persuasion, which maybe I need because I am a little not charming persuasion today. So if you know of an Irish person, please let me know. Send them my way. So that's it, essentially, about the origins. As far as the question, is the day for partying and boozing? It kind of is, but the origins are very religious. So I think if you're Catholic, I'm not sure if people really celebrate it the way they used to. If you're Catholic, please let me know how you guys celebrate it. But it does have religious applications, but it did become very, very secular when you see that a lot of the secular traditions really got popularized in the 18th century, and it really got big, and a lot of them were adopted by Ireland for tourism. So it's a great day to kind of sell things and kind of do these fun traditions. I think a lot of kids have fun with it, so I don't inherently think it's a day for partying and booze, but it kind of is a day for partying and booze, which I'm okay with. I think it's fun. I think people should let loose and have some fun with it. But I also think it'll help if people kind of know the history behind it and appreciate the religious applications of it, even though we don't know lots of information about it. But I had fun researching this. Thanks for allowing me to kind of share this and research this. Break time is almost over, but we got done with the break early. So since it's an early break, hope you enjoy the rest of your break, and I'll see you in the next break room. So have fun. Thank you guys. Bye.